Hi guys, I'm back. I promised I'd get you this information out there, and we have a week left to go, so November 6th is right up the street. We have, I believe, 11 measures to vote on, and we have some Republicans to get out the White House. Do you hear me? Republicans to get out the White House. In case you forget the names, poke everything with a D. Not Republican. Okay? You're not helping Trump. Let's get started with these measures. We're going to start off right now with Measure 1. And Measure 1 has to do with
Welcome
housing.
to Fast Facts on the Ballot Measures, brought to you by the Easy Voter Guide, a project of the League of Women Voters of California.
We're going to vote yes.
Let's talk about Proposition 1, affordable housing bonds. Across the state, people are struggling to afford housing. To help provide housing to low-income and homeless residents, the state provides affordable loans to local governments, nonprofits, and some private companies. California also has a program that provides home loans to military veterans. Prop 1 would allow the state to sell $4 billion in new bonds to pay for existing affordable housing programs. Money would go toward programs for low-income residents, veterans, housing near public transportation, and farm workers. Repaying the bonds plus interest would cost the state about $170 million each year for the next 35 years. The Veterans Program will be at no cost. People for Prop 1 say that California needs housing for families, seniors, and people with disabilities, and this measure honors veterans by helping them buy a home. People against Prop 1 say that it would only provide housing for a small number of people, and if California keeps borrowing money, all residents will end up paying higher taxes. For more details on this proposition, visit votersedge.org.
Yes on Measure 1. Yes. Okay, crazy. Proposition 1, my bad. No on Measure Q. That's in Barstow. Okay, Proposition 2, let's see what they're trying to tell us here. They're saying on Prop 2 that it's about the mental
Welcome to Fast Facts on the Ballot Measures, brought to you by the Easy Voter Guide, a project of the League of Women Voters of California.
Here's why.
Let's talk about Proposition 2, the Mental Health Housing Program. In 2004, voters approved Prop 63 to help pay for mental health services with a special tax on people making more than $1 million a year.
1 million?
Counties spend this money on many different mental health services, including housing. In 2016, state lawmakers passed a bill that created a new mental health housing program to provide homes for people with mental illness. The state wants to use money from Prop 63 to pay for the new mental health housing program. What would Prop 2 do if it passes? Prop 2 would allow the state to sell up to $2 billion in bonds to help pay for the new mental health housing program. Up to $140 million from Prop 63 funds could be used yearly to pay for these bonds. What effect would Prop 2 have on our state budget? Prop 2 will have no effect on the state budget.
None.
The new mental health housing program will be paid for using the money the state already gets from taxes. More money would be available for mental health housing, and less money would be available for county mental health services.
Bullshit.
People for Prop 2 say the best way to help someone with mental illness is to get them a place to live. And it costs the state nothing to provide housing for our most at-risk residents.
That part.
People against Prop 2 say it will help home builders, not people with mental illness, and counties should make their own decisions. For more details on this proposition, visit votersedge.org.
No. No. We're not falling for that bullshit. It's yes on Measure 2. Proposition 2. I'm stuck with measures, guys. Roll with me. Prop 2. No on Measure Q in Barstow. Let's see. We're going to go on to 3 here. But we're batting yes and yes. Let's see what 3 is going to tell us about.
Welcome to Fast Facts on the Ballot Measures, brought to you by the Easy Voter Guide, a project of the League of Women Voters of California.
Yes on 3.
Let's talk about Proposition 3, water bonds. Most of our water comes from rain and melted snow that flows down into waters and streams.
Naturally.
Local governments spend about $25 billion each year to protect watersheds against damage and provide clean water. In recent years, the government has also spent about $4 billion per year to support water projects. Sometimes the state borrows money to pay for these projects. This initiative would allow the state to sell almost $9 billion in new bonds to pay for water projects. Money would be spent on watershed and flood protection, drinking water, fish and wildlife habitat improvements, and dam repairs. Paying back the bonds plus interest would cost the state about $430 million each year for the next 40 years. Prop 3 would save local governments a couple $100 million each year over the next 30 years. People for Prop 3 say, Prop 3 will provide safe drinking water to millions. Our state must prepare now for future droughts and floods. People against Prop 3 say, Prop 3 does not do enough to fix the water shortage, and too much money will be spent on parks, hiking trails, and wildlife. For more details on this proposition, visit votersedge.org.
Bullshit. It's yes on 3. Yes, yes, and yes so far. So far, we're doing pretty good. Let's see what 4 says for us on the ballot. Let's see. 4 is about the children's
Welcome to Fast
hospital.
Facts on the Ballot Measures.
That's definitely
brought to you
yes.
by the Easy Voter Guide, a project of the League of Women Voters
That's
of
a yes,
California.
too.
Let's talk about Proposition 4,
Let's do it.
Children's Hospital Bonds. 13 hospitals in our state are considered children's hospitals.
Yep.
These hospitals provide specialized care to children with severe injuries and illnesses. Many children in these hospitals are from low-income communities. In the past, voters have approved 2 bond measures to support children's hospitals. These bonds have been used for new buildings, renovations, and equipment. Most of the money from these bonds will run out soon. Prop 4 would allow the state to sell an additional $1.5 billion in bonds for hospitals serving children. Money could be used for construction, building improvements, and equipment. To receive funding, hospitals must prove that they will use the money to help children in need.
Must prove.
Paying back the bonds plus interest will cost the state about $80 million each year for the next 35 years. People for Prop 4 say, children's hospitals care for the most needy children, no matter what their families can pay. And Prop 4 will help keep our hospitals up to date and ready to serve more children.
Yes.
People against Prop 4 say, Prop 4 will require the state to borrow money and pay it back over many years. And instead of borrowing money, California should be looking at improving healthcare overall. For details on this proposition, visit votersedge.org.
Yes, 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 yes. Yes on Proposition 4. Yes. Now we're going to see what 5 has. 5 is the property tax, and we're going to say no on that.
Welcome to Fast Facts
No
on
more
the Ballot
taxes.
Measures, brought to you by
No.
the Easy Voter Guide,
Figure
a
it
project
out.
of the League of Women Voters of
Take
California.
it from our 10-cent bag
Let's
money.
talk about Proposition 5, property tax rules. All homeowners are required to pay property taxes based on the value of their home.
Yep.
When people move into a new home, they often pay higher property taxes. California has special rules for homeowners aged 55 or older and those with severe disabilities to allow them to buy a new home without paying higher taxes. Prop 5 would expand the special property tax rules for homeowners who are 55 years or older, those with disabilities, and homeowners affected by natural disasters. These homeowners would be allowed to keep paying a similar amount in property tax no matter where or how many times they move. These homeowners can move to a cheaper home and pay lower property taxes. They could also move to a more expensive home and pay a smaller increase than what the rules allow now. If people pay lower property taxes, Prop 5 would cause significant tax losses at the state and local level. During the next few years, schools and local governments would lose over $100 million per year. People for Prop 5 say that Prop 5 will help seniors and people with disabilities move without paying higher taxes. They also say that when seniors move, more homes will be available for families.
No.
People against Prop 5 say less money would go to schools and public services.
True.
They also say that Prop 5 would help wealthy seniors and not decrease rent or homelessness.
True.
For details on Prop 5, go to votersedge.org.
No. No on 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, 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 yes. 5. No. Okay. Let's get this over with because I got a lot of things to do tonight, okay? Let's check out Prop 6. Prop 6, we're going to say yes, repeal
Welcome
that
to
gas
Fast Facts
tax.
on the ballot measures, brought to you by the Easy Voter Guide, a project of the League of Women Voters of California. Let's talk about Proposition 6, transportation taxes and fees. Last year, state lawmakers passed a law called Senate Bill 1 to raise money for transportation in California. This law increased taxes on gasoline. It also created new transportation improvement fees that are paid when registering a vehicle. These taxes and fees will pay for road repairs, safety improvements, and public transportation. Prop 6 would get rid of the taxes and fees passed last year as part of SB 1. The legislature would have to get voter approval before passing new taxes on gasoline. Voters would also have to approve any increase of transportation and vehicle fees. If Prop 6 passes, the state would get billions of dollars less from transportation taxes and fees, and there would be much less money available for highway repairs and public transportation. By requiring voter approval, Prop 6 could make it harder to raise transportation taxes and fees in the future. People for Prop 6 say transportation taxes and fees are too high, and that passing Prop 6 immediately lowers the price of gasoline and vehicle fees.
Yes, sir.
People against Prop 6 say transportation taxes and fees are paying for thousands of projects, and that California will be less safe without money to pay for repairs.
Bullshit.
For more details on this proposition, visit votersedge.org.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes on 6. Yes on 6. Screw them and their higher taxes and their DMV extra fees and stuff that they don't fix potholes and look at the streets. Come on now. Let's see what. Did we have a Prop 7? Yes. Prop 7 was...
Welcome to Fast Facts on the ballot measures brought to you by the Easy Voter Guide, a project of the League of Women Voters of California.
Time zone.
Let's talk about Proposition 7, Daylight Saving Time.
Stupid.
Federal law sets standard time zones for each area of the country. California and other western states are in the Pacific Standard Time Zone. Current law requires the time of each zone to move forward by 1 hour from early March to early November each year. That time is called Daylight Saving Time. Prop 7 would allow California to make daylight saving time last all year if 2/3 of the legislature votes for it. Such a change can happen only if federal law is changed. Until then, Prop 7 would keep California's current daylight saving time schedule. Prop 7 would have no immediate effects, and impacts on state and local government would be very small. People for Prop 7 say permanent daylight saving time would have positive public health effects. When people don't have to change their clocks, the risk of heart attacks and strokes goes down. This change reduces energy costs and increases work production. People against Prop 7 say if the sun rises an hour later in the winter, this will have negative effects on schools, traffic, and public safety, and will create confusion when other states are on a different time schedule. For more information on Prop 7, visit votersedge.org.
Are they stupid or what? All my life we've had daylight savings time. Why the hell would some dummy want to change daylight savings time? Oh, like they said, because it will cause less heart attacks and stress from having to reset the clock. No on measure 7, on Proposition 7. No, 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 no. No on 7, no on Q and Barstow. How about that? Let's see what 8 is talking about then. There's got to be something juicy.
Welcome to Fast Facts on the Ballot Measures, brought to you by the Easy Voter Guide, a project of the League of Women Voters of California. Let's talk about Prop 8, kidney dialysis clinics. If a person's kidneys stop working, they need a transplant or a treatment called dialysis to survive. Dialysis is usually provided by licensed clinics. Treatment is paid for by Medicare, Medi-Cal, or private insurance. Private insurance companies usually pay much more for treatment than Medicare and Medi-Cal. Prop 8 would limit how much clinics can charge for treatment. Clinics would be allowed to charge for the cost of providing direct patient care plus 15%. Direct patient care would include the cost of staffing, medication, and patient education. Clinics would have to report how much money they made, what they charged, and how much they spent. If clinics charge more than allowed, they would need to pay money back. Prop 8 would also prevent clinics from treating patients differently based on their insurance. The impact on state and local budgets would depend on how dialysis clinics react to the law and how the law is interpreted. State and local governments could save or lose tens of millions of dollars each year. People for Prop 8 say Prop 8 will stop dialysis clinics from overcharging patients and will lower healthcare costs.
Yes.
People against Prop 8 say California's clinics provide some of the highest quality care in the country. Prop 8 will force community dialysis clinics to cut services or to close down. For more details on Prop 8, go to votersedge.org.
Excuse me, leave them people alone. If it's not broke, what the hell? They already got to report everything and every penny if they go over anything. They have a high standards, from what I'm understanding here, of taking care of their dialysis patients. Why would you want to? Yes on 8. How about that? Yes on 8. No on 7, daylight savings time, but yes on 8. I don't believe there's a 9, but we can check out 10. I don't know why there was a 9. Was there one and they took it back?
Welcome to Fast Facts on the Ballot Measures, brought to you by the Easy Voter Guide, a project of the League of Women Voters of California. Let's talk about Prop 10, local governments and rent control. Some cities have rent control laws that limit how much landlords can increase rents each year. State law prevents rent control on single-family homes and housing built after 1995. Courts have said that landlords must be allowed to increase rents enough to be able to make some money each year. Prop 10 would remove the state law that put limits on what rent control laws cover. Cities and counties would have more power to limit how much landlords can increase rents each year. Rent control laws could apply to any type of housing, no matter when the housing was built. Local rent control laws would still need to allow landlords to make some money each year. Prop 10 has no immediate effects on state or local budgets. Effects would depend on how many cities and counties pass rent control laws, what rent control laws cover, and how landlords would respond. People for Prop 10 say high rent is hurting seniors, families, and low-income residents, and Prop 10 will allow local communities to choose what kind of rent control they need. People against Prop 10 say rent control will lead landlords to sell their property or stop renting and make rents more expensive. And governments should not be able to tell homeowners how much rent they can charge. For more details on Prop 10, go to votersedge.org.
Have they really lost it?
Welcome to...
No, we're not falling for that bullshit. If I'm correct, I believe it's yes on 10. Yes on Measure 10. We need that rent control. Because these owners, let me tell you, you'll be living in a house or apartment that's $700 a month. And then next year when your 1 year goes past, they hike that mug up to $950 and ain't nothing you could do about it but pay it or move. What you gonna do? If there's some rent control, it ain't gonna be that easy. Yes on 10. Let's try number 11 and see what that's about. Proposition 11 is about the ambulance.
Welcome to Fast Facts on the Ballot Measures, brought to you by the Easy Voter Guide, a project of the League of Women Voters of California. Let's talk about Proposition 11, ambulance employee breaks. Many cities and counties have agreements with private companies to provide ambulance services. Ambulance employees are usually required to stay on call during breaks, meaning they must respond to emergency calls while on a break. 2 years ago, the state Supreme Court ruled that similar workers must be given off-duty breaks that cannot be interrupted, even for an emergency call. Some ambulance employees have sued their companies, claiming that they should be off-duty during breaks. If Prop 11 passes, private ambulance employees must remain on call during breaks. If an employee's break is interrupted, their employer will be required to provide another break later.
That part.
All breaks would be paid. Ambulance companies would be required to provide additional paid training and mental health services to ambulance employees. Prop 11 would lower costs for private ambulance companies. Cities and counties that depend on private ambulance services would also save money, possibly tens of millions of dollars each year.
People for Prop 11 say, Prop 11 protects public safety and makes sure that ambulance companies can respond to emergencies.
Yes.
Ambulance employees deserve more training and support. No formal argument against Prop 11 was submitted. For more information on Prop 11, go to votersedge.org.
So because you got a 15-minute break and you want to eat your sandwich and Thelma's over there or Susie Beth or Becky Ann is having a damn coronary, you have to wait till you finish your 15-minute break or your hour 30-minute lunch and then go save them. No, go save them and then go to lunch. You're going to get paid for it anyway. Stop it. Oh, jeez, Louise. Now we have, where is Proposition 12? This is the last one.
Welcome to Fast Facts on the Ballot Measure, brought to you by the Easy Voter Guide, a project of the League of Women Voters of California. Let's talk about Proposition 12, farm animal cages. Under current law, pregnant pigs, egg-laying hens, and veal cows can be kept in cages and crates. These cages and crates must be big enough to allow the animals to lay down, stand up, turn around, and extend their legs. It is illegal to sell eggs from hens kept in cages that do not meet these rules.
It's illegal.
Prop 12 would create special rules on sizes of cages and crates for pregnant pigs, egg-laying hens, and veal cows. It would be illegal to sell meat or eggs from animals kept in cages that do not meet these rules.
It's already illegal.
In 2022, farmers will be required to keep egg-laying hens in cage-free housing. It could cost the state up to $10 million each year to infuse the new rules. The state could receive less money in taxes if farmers choose to raise fewer animals or need to build new cages and may increase the cost of pork, veal, and eggs. People for Prop 12 say it is cruel and unsafe to keep animals in small cages. Increasing cage size will reduce the risk of food poisoning and farm pollution. People against Prop 12 say this measure does not go far enough to protect farm animals. The cage-side rules will not be big enough for all types of egg-laying hens and delays the date for cage-free housing to start. For more details on Prop 12, go to votersedge.org.
I'm sorry, animal lovers, but because you want your chickens and pigs and cows to have a little extra room, no, fool. No, on Measure 12. No. Why should the state get involved? Leave them people alone. Leave their animals alone. It's already illegal for them to do the shit. Why you want to mess up that shit? No, on Measure 12. It's as stupid as Proposition 7. So those right there are the propositions. Let's see what we have. Proposition 1 is the housing. Yes. Proposition 2 is mental housing. Yes. Proposition 3, water. Yes. Proposition 4, children's hospital. Yes. Proposition 5, property tax. No. Proposition 6, yes. Proposition 7, you lost your mind. No. Proposition 8, yes, on the health care. Oh, 7 was the time zone change. Dumb. There's no Proposition 10, Proposition 9. Proposition 10 is rent control. That's yes. Proposition 11 is the ambulances taking a break. That's yes. And Proposition 12, leave them alone. No, get a life. All right, guys. So we're gonna knock out these candidates that they have that are running. And let's see what we have here. If you can't remember, here's the key to November 6, 2018 voting. If you forget the name, look for the D. Do not choose the person with the R. If you choose the person with the R, we're in trouble. Okay, so let's see. If you guys can, let's see. We're going to go with Gavin Newsom, since Jerry Brown is not running again. That's a boy. He did some pretty good work. But let's see here. I'm going to turn my camera so I won't be looking away from you guys that much. That makes it a little easier. How about that? Is that better, guys? It's a little easier for me than turning my neck every which way and around. We're going to do this quick because I'm really getting tired. Okay, we're going to do Gavin Newsom. He's going to be taking Jerry Brown's place, okay? Governor Jerry Brown. So we're going to go Gavin Newsom, D. Let me go down to Lieutenant Governor of California. We're going to go Edward Hernandez, Democrat. Then we're going to go California Secretary of State. We're going to go with Alex Padilla, Democrat. For the Attorney General of California, we don't want the good old boy looking guy right there. They ain't did too much for us here. We're going to go with Xavier Barrera. Go for the D. They ain't kicking my brothers and sisters out of the country if I can help it. I'm voting for that D. Help. Treasurer of California, let's go with Fiona Ma. What's up, Fiona Ma? Hey, in the house. She's a Democrat. Look at her with swag. She cute. Okay, for the Controller of California, they have a Betty Yee. She looked like she could handle the business. Democrat, D. Your answer is like cheating when you're taking a test. Check the D's. Now, when it comes to candidates for Superintendent of Public Education, I don't know who you'd want to pick. I'd pick Tony only because he looks like... And he looks like how Stella got her groove back. But, okay. And for Commissioner of Insurance, we're going to go with Ricardo Lara. Guess why? D. I don't think he might want to kick the rest of our brothers and sisters out the country either, especially if they've been here before us. For State Assembly, just push D. Okay, San Bernardino County. If you live in San Bernardino County, I can't help you with the Board of Education people because I'm not really into them. So if somebody can, let us know what's going on with their, that would help a lot because I don't know very much about that and I didn't research very much about it. However, for the California Board of Equalization, we don't have a choice. We got to go with Tom Hallinan. I don't know. He might be a good guy. He might not. I don't know. And we have a lot of California Supreme Court judges and appeal court judges that are up for retention and recall. So if you've had a run-in or a janky call that you didn't feel was right, one of those good old boys, like Kavanaugh type shit, not really the sexual shit, but just sneaky criminal actions and some more shit, and they all cover for each other, pick your judge. If your judge is on this list, your judge is on there for a reason. With that being said, that's about as much as I know on this year's 2018 November 6th vote. If you haven't already registered to vote, please do so. You can go online and register online. Just type in Google register to vote. You have until November 6th. If you're a parent, a grandparent, a neighbor of someone younger, 18 years or older, 18, 19, 20-year-olds, gangbangers, hookers out there, what's up, ladies? Whoever, my nigga, dope dealers, dope heads, drug addicts, gang members, you feel me? Get them to go online and register. November 6th is just a week away. For the rest of you, the only ones that cannot vote, please hear me, are the ones who are currently in prison and who are on parole, whether state or county parole. You guys can't really vote. But the rest of you, just because you got a felon, if you haven't been convicted yet too, I don't give a damn. If you did 20 years in the penitentiary and you ain't on parole, vote. If you did 50 years in the penitentiary and you're not on parole, vote. Tell your homies, get everybody. We can't do this alone, and I'm not going back to slave days, my nigga. So I think we should, they gonna have to split me in half, put me on the slave ship and send my ass back to Mexico because that's where my parents kind of split. So come on, guys, let's get with it. And do me a favor. Like, subscribe, and share. You can also leave a comment below. I would love to hear what you think about this process. Until later on, keep your heads up. South Park, Susan, you fucked up. Deuces.